What is up, old school RuneScape fans? It is your boy Ojama back with another video. Today's video we're going to be covering another one of the bounty. This is what I'm going to call my content bounty, and I'm going to try to just do everything on this list before I really do other stuff. I mean, in addition to my Fresh Start series. So this is the keywords of what people who watch my content are watching. So then I'm trying to like make content specifically for the people who are watching my content because, right, you know what I mean? I'm not like, whatever. I'm just trying to, that's just kind of how I'm going. So I forgot what this was, but we knocked that off. And then yesterday I knocked off Osrs F2p combat money making guide. And that essentially was don't make money with combat and free to play because you don't have options to. So then the next one on the bounty list is going to be Osrs AFK money making guide 2024. And I'm pretty sure this does include member stuff like that, but I just want to strictly keep it free to play because I believe in, right now I just want the channel to be as much free to play as possible because I'm trying to bring you guys into the members world from free to play, the people that do that. So yeah, so let's just hop right into it real quick. This is Osrs AFK Money Making Guide 2024, and for free to play, you do not have a million bajillion options here. Let me hop over to the Money Making Guide. And again, I gotta move around again. Shrink a little bit. I'll just cover up the requirements here a little bit here. I'll just put myself here. That looks fine. If we break down everything hourly profit here, this does pretty much cover the options you have as a free to play player for when it comes down to making money, and you are pretty much going to be locked behind 476k per hour. This is probably the best money maker per hour. If you have one account, if you get multiple accounts, then you can kind of like mix and match money makers and stuff like that. But this is an AFK guide, so AFK usually is synonymous. I think that's the correct word. It is usually when people think of AFK, they think of, I think, easy. So maybe not necessarily even looking for the best money makers. They're just looking for the easiest low effort money makers. So then with that additional context being spoken, I still believe this is going to be your best option just because it is just so well-rounded in money making. And if you do this for a long enough period of time, you will just grow a substantial bank with low effort. It is low effort, though it is not, it requires a lot of button pressing though, but it is low effort. So you can kind of do it mindlessly, which kind of opens you up to not really play the game, but still utilize playing the game. Because then let's talk about other low effort, non-attention activities in money making for free to play. And that would be something like mining runite ore would be really good for that, kind of. You have to worry about competition and stuff like that. But in a perfect world, if you didn't have to compete with people for runite ores, that's pretty AFK. You could just click the rock and then come check back in a minute or two. And when you have mined it, you made 10k. So that is a pretty good one. So then a lot of this stuff on this list isn't necessarily, it is all mostly low effort, I would say, but it's not time spent away. I don't know. I don't know how to, like, it's not AFK. It's not technically AFK. Like, high elking AFK, I have a way to do that. I'm still planning on making that its own video, and essentially that's making a remote control button presser, which you can buy a solenoid, a RF transmitter, and then a power supply. And then you can have a clicker, so you can just go sit at your couch and have the solenoid actuating on a button, like your number 5 for the Windows keys, or clicking your mouse. And I can show people how to build that, but it will run you like $45. And if you're willing to spend $45 for a remote control button pusher, I feel like you should be a member. But so there's that. But then, like, if you're looking at something that is actually AFK, I would say something like cutting U-logs is AFK, but not this 174k profit rate, because that requires you to participate in the forestry events, which I think takes away the AFK-ness of it. But if you were to just do the AFK method of it, it only becomes 50k an hour, but it is AFK, like 1 click per whatever amount of time it takes for a U tree. Right. So, I mean, like, there's that. So now, it doesn't leave you a lot of options, you know what I mean? So, like, it's a guide. So, essentially, get 55. So, what I'm suggesting here for you to do, again, you know, I'm kind of kicking a dead horse, but I have to keep producing content for the algorithm so that people see the content. And this is the guide. So, you get 55 magic, and then you buy items, and then cast High Alchemy on them. Oh, man, I don't want to show you guys my pin. Hold on. Whoops. All right, we're in. So essentially how the guide would work is that you just start looking for items that are high alchable. And then you buy one, do a test buy to see the price, and then do a test buy of the nature rune to see whatever, and then you just test the high alch price. So this one is 4680, which is less than 4536. So then you just know you profit, and then with that you kind of set it over here in a spot, and you either lock your mouse down or you go to like Windows keys, and then if you set your Windows keys to a button press, then you can just like hit that button over and over again without worrying about your mouse moving. And then you can just sit here and cast and profit. So then, for instance, I'm making a video while I'm high alching, so I don't really care. And you can just kind of like sit here and spam it. Or whatever. Just every now and then, you just got to remember to press it. So like if you had a really long cord on your keyboard, you could be sitting at your couch and your TV, or just be watching TV while you're doing this. And just remember to just like, you know, maybe you're listening to a little bit of music like I am right here, so you can just kind of do it to the beat. And then, etc. So, there's that kind of. So then, to get 55 magic for all new accounts, I would just recommend you splash. And before you splash, I would recommend you do a quest named Imp Catcher. Sorry. And Imp Catcher is pretty easy. You just kind of buy the beads, and then you go to Wizard Mizgog at the Wizard's Tower. It's a really good guide too. You like this guide? Wizard's Tower here. And then you go upstairs, talk to him. He'll get you level 8 magic from level 1. And then you can bring some wind strikes with you to blast the lesser demon that's there. And then once you do that, you get to level 9, and then you can splash. And it should take you about 17,000 casts from level 1 to level 55 to get 55 magic, which then unlocks at high elk. So then, what is it, 17,000? I think, what is it, Earth Strike is 1-1. This is not a very... this is funny how bad this is as a video. So it's 1 mind, 1 air, 2 earth. So if you bought a earth staff, it's a 2k investment, but then 17,000 air runes. You can get at 5 each. So let's take that times 2, because you're going to need air and whatever. So it'll cost you about 170k to get 55 magic, and 17,000 casts should take you 15 hours, which is pretty simple. It's not that hard. Just every 15 minutes, you just need to interact with the client by like clicking like somewhere in your inventory. That's usually what I do. And then your character will continue to splash. Oh, you need to splash too. So then to splash, you want to have an iron set. I find these pretty easy to get. People are usually selling this. And then you'll like go to sets here at the exchange clerk, and you'll right click and hit unpack. Now you have that. And if you don't have 40 range to buy Van Braces, you need to get a you need to get the Goblin staff from Drainer Village Diango, because if I put on a magic staff here, you can see my oh, that's a battle staff. Oh, no. If I put on a magic staff here, you're at negative 55. You need negative 65 magic or lower to splash, and then you can splash to 55. And that's the guide to how to get 55 magic for that AFK 2024 guide anyway. So now that I've covered that, I want to get to the actual meat of this video, which is going to be the best AFK moneymaker for free to play, and that option is trading. Okay, now if you know anything about me or my channel or anything like that, we do fresh start, and it is about high volume, low margin trading, because it is the most AFK thing you can do to passively generate money. So for instance, here's the guide to do that. Okay, so if I go in here on the internet.com and I go to a site called prices.runescape.wiki, you can get here from the wiki just by typing in like Fire Rune. And you can go to view real-time prices over here in the corner, and it'll take you right to the site. But then you can click on prices here, and it'll take you to the main page. So that's one way to get here. Or you can just bookmark it or whatever. So what I want you to do to start this trading, it's not a crazy amount of money, which is why I led with the high alking, because that is a AFK and will get you a decent amount of money from playing the game. But from what I think people are looking up from the keyword is that they want actually stuff where they can make money without actually having, like, with the least amount of interaction as possible, if that makes sense. So then that's entirely what my channel is actually about. So you should probably just subscribe. And it is through trading high volume, low margin items. Okay, so as you can see over here, we have a volume of 250 for today, 197 for this item, 167 for this item. Anyway, so this is my guide on how to like make picks. Okay, so then how to make picks. I can make some picks for you. This is the items with the highest daily volume here, and you want to go for non-members. So anything that's a gray star, not a gold star here, those are the items you want to start looking at. So then, for instance, this is my my daddy pick, my number one pick. Fire Rune is the one I always want to look at. And you want to see a volume, you want to see a margin, one, and you want to look down here and you want to see the chart. And you want to see that it's kind of equal up and down. And then down here too, you kind of want to look across here and kind of see. They don't have to be even, but you kind of want to see an even split both ways. So like 203, 75, 130, you know what I mean? So that kind of that indicates that there's movement between these two, so that it indicates that if you put some money in, that eventually you'll buy for 4, and then eventually you'll be able to sell back for 5. Okay, so that is how you look for stuff. So then a bad item here, even though this has been kind of going parabolic, but there are items. Oh, here's a good one. A bad one to pick for low margin, high volume flipping would be Pure Essence on the Grand Exchange. Because if you look here, you can see how it's not necessary. Like, it kind of looks like, if you look up here, it's showing that, you know, there's buy prices 1 and sell prices 2, showing that there sometimes it's like glitched and it's like flipped around, but that it's still a 1 GP margin. It's just, I think, in the wrong spots right now. But anyway, if you look down at the chart, you can see that it is not an equal split up and down. Okay, so now just for people who actually watch my content or in my Discord and stuff like that, we know why this is good, is because we're not, but what I'm specifically talking about in this guide for newer players is that we want to keep this Grand Exchange focused. So this is a bad item to buy if you're intending to sell back to the Grand Exchange, okay? Because you can easily get it at 1, as you can see here, but it will very slowly sell at 2. So there's not a lot of rinsing. There's not a lot of cycle in the trade, okay? So that's what I'm saying here. And you can see it's reflected down here. So the orange line is the high price, but the high price is 1 because it's sold and bought at so often at 1 that the high price is 1. So you can't sell something back at 0. So this, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I feel kind of like I'm over explaining, but I'm just trying to make sure that I cover all the bases with this. and show why it's not a good item to buy for the Grand Exchange. So then down here, it also is reflected too. In contrast to something like the Fire Rune, okay? Because I'm not even telling you to specifically pick. I'm just trying to get you into my mindset to help you find good picks yourself, okay? So as we can look here, there's like no low price volume because a low price doesn't exist because this is a 1 GP item right now, pretty much. It has blips on the radar where it goes up to 2 sometimes, but it is what it is, okay? So now, sometimes you can try these items out and they'll work good or not. So then I want to also then talk about an item like Chaos Rune. This one, the tighter the margin, by tighter I mean more consistent at a price, the more AFK an item is, okay? So like for instance here, if we go back 7 days, we really only need to check once a week on this item, or once a day, once every other day, depending how big your cash stack is. So for instance, I'm going to pick Fire Runes. I have 250k. This is my first item I'm picking. So then I'm going to, you know, whatever. 250k divided by 5 is 50k, right? Or divided by 4, sorry. It should be like 62. Yeah, 6250. Oops, that is the wrong buttons. Oh, my numpad was up. Okay, so now we have an offer in for that. Okay, you know what I mean? And you see it's not buying. What makes this AFK is that now we just gotta wait. This may take 2 days, this may take 3 days, this may take 4 days, but the actual interaction I made with the game is very, very small. Like there's initial effort in like determining what picks you're gonna try. So there's like there's phases. There's like an experimental phase, and then after you get a few experiments and gain a little bit of experience in the space, you will be able to you'll be able to rinse and repeat, because that's why I say like with tighter margins like this that are a little bit more consistent, you'll be able to see, oh shit, I covered it up, sorry. You'll be able to see the movement of the item. So then because you'll have events like this sometimes you got to kind of pay attention to it. But as you can see over a year, it is a majority of the time a 5-4 split. So then it becomes repeatable. And if you look at other items of the similar nature, you'll see a similar pattern. As you can see, air runes really just are 5-4. If you look back at water runes, you'll see that they are also just 5-4 over a longer time horizon, okay? So that makes it a good AFK moneymaker. They're like, but it's not the best moneymaker. Again, that's why I started with high elk. If you want, there's active moneymakers and passive moneymakers. And a good AFK, because AFK is kind of thrown around. It doesn't really mean AFK anymore. It kind of just means like easy, low effort. That's kind of how I interpret, or what I think colloquially, I can't say that word very well. What AFK is starting to mean is low effort, easy. It's not necessarily AFK though, it requires your attention. But something that is truly AFK, like an old archaic meaning of AFK, what it used to mean, where you're away from the keyboard and then you're actually still producing value. This type of trading is what I'm saying is actually the most AFK. So, and it is called low margin, high volume trading, just to be specific here. So then these are the low margin, high volume trades that are like the most AFK, but then you can also trade other items that you want to try. Like let's say the Chaos Rune, you could daily trade this once, you know, if you want to check once per day, you could try to, okay, I can see today we have 104 and there's a tax. So when it's past 100, it is a 1 GP tax. When it's past 200, it is 2 GP tax. You have to take that into account. So when you see here, you can get it probably at 105, and you could probably sell it at 106. But if you did that, you would just be 105 again. So you have to try to go for 107. So then you can still get the 1 GP margin here, but or whatever. You know, the ROI's return on investment. That's what ROI stands for. I'm trying to make this as what's the word? I'm trying to make this as brain fart, sorry. I'm trying to make this easily understandable. Okay, I think that's what I meant to say. Something like that. Return on investment is 2%, or something like Fire Rune is 20%, 25%, or something like that, 20%. Because the initial investment is cheaper, but it's still, profit is profit. So like, don't worry about that too much, but you can still get a profit here. But this item, now one day we can see that, you know, it's tracking this way. So then you can wake up in the morning, look at the chart, and go, okay, well then I'm gonna try to get some at 105 or 104 or whatever you want to experiment with, because we're still in the experimental phase, and then try it out for a couple days, see if you make the money you like or whatever, and whatever. But you can't. We need to look further back at this item to see if it is something that, like, how often we need to check. So then the more you have to check, the less AFK an item becomes. Okay, I hope that is kind of obvious why. But if we look for the 7 days here, yeah, so we're looking pretty good. We could try to get 104 for the week, and then we could try to sell for like 107. Nah, 104, 106. It's a 1 GP profit over the 7-day mark here. But over 30 days, there's some movement here. So that means, like, maybe we can do this for, like, we can leave an offer in for 2 days. Maybe we can do whatever here. But, like, over the year especially, you're going to see a lot of movement. So this might be an item that you may try to get when it's at the low point. Like, try to time a low point. This looks like a high point. This was the lowest I've seen in a while. But yeah, it swings. So this isn't an item you can just, like, bank on that it's going to hold its value. Or hold a margin that in a high volume that you'll be able to get a positive return on investment. Positive meaning you made money, sorry. Okay. So I just wanted to say that for high volume, low margin, I tend to try to stay under 100 GP just to avoid the tax, to make it more AFK, less effort, more brainless. Okay, so now this is only the top page for the highest volume, but there are other items with high-ish volumes that still are worth going for, because, like, this may be the best based on volume, but other items, this is why we're in an experimental phase. I just want to show you how to get to other items real quick. So if you click on the prices button here, it should take you to a home page. I don't know why it didn't. There should be a way. Oh, sorry, I'm silly. All items. I am sorry. Oh my god, I brain farted so hard there. But yeah, just that's how the nature of my content is. You get what you get, right? So yeah, so now we're on the all items page here, and so I'll just cover up whatever here. That's fine. So if we apply a filter here, the only filter, I don't even know what filter I have active, so I'll just clear the filters quick. Okay. So now, since you're a free-to-play player, I'm trying to talk to you, but this works for everybody too, members as well. But I just want you to click this filter, okay? So then that'll put on show only free-to-play items, and then we can toggle, whatever, apply filters. If you click that twice, it goes away. And then if you come over here, I want you to focus to the right of my face on daily volume here. Because you're going to see a lot of stuff here. They're going to show you margin and potential profit. And you're going to be like, oh my gosh, 209K. Oh my gosh, look at all that green. Look at all that green. Don't worry about that. We don't care about that. What we want to see is volume here. So if you click once, it goes to the lowest first. But then if you click it twice, it'll sort by highest volume. And then when you're looking here, you kind of want to watch the buy and sell price over here. Okay. So then when we go down, as you can see, Fire runes are 5-4, 5-4, 3-2-3, or 4-3. You can kind of check those out. Fire the Feathers have been acting kind of weird. But anyway, don't want to go into too off topic here. But then we can just kind of start checking items out, like Adamant Arrows maybe, just check that in a tab. Grapes, Maple Logs are usually pretty good for resale. Mithril Arrows have been doing pretty good. Iron Arrows are pretty good. Oak Logs you can give a shot. Just kind of keep it simple underneath, like, just pretty much like if you find items under like 100 GP, I would just give all of them a shot and just experiment around and just find it, mix and match the items that you like. And then, kind of just make sure you come in here and check the 7-day, check the 30-day, check it day, and then, just to see if it's going to be kind of safe. Okay. Then you'll hop back on here and you'll find your second item. We'll just go grapes or something. And then we're just going to check the margin on here just to make sure that it's the same as on the live chart here. So we got a 910. If we go back to here, it's about 910. So, yep, we did confirm that those are the same. And then, I'll put in like an offer for 100 just to try, or maybe that many. And then we'll just let it ride. So then that's it, okay? Now you can, like, that's AFK, you know what I mean? And especially if you don't have slots working, do this, okay? It's like low effort. You may not make a lot of money, but it is money being made passively without too much interaction. And like, you'll be surprised to find out, people who have never seen my channel, go watch my other content, how profitable this can get pretty quickly, depending on the season you're in. If you just practice at it a little bit. And this is a really good just intro into merching in general. And I think merching is something I'm trying to steer everybody into, because this is the most like basic, well, this one level higher than the most basic form of merching. The best merching, or the easiest merching, I would say, is like general store flipping items from NPC stores and bringing them to the GE. But that's just kind of like a little bit more labor intensive, but it's a form of merching. I do want to bring people into more complicated merching methods or whatever, but this is like the bare bones and also the most AFK activity that you can be doing in the free-to-play, especially. If you combo this with like High Elk, you are going to have a really good time, okay? So, like, you know what I mean? You're sitting here High Elking, you can just put the offers in and just kind of wait. You can do like active flipping, you can do whatever you want, but I mean, like, it is the most, like, it's like playing kind of on two accounts, because you got 3 slots working, you got your main account working, so you have 2 different little operations going on in the same account. So yeah, that's it. I rambled on a little bit longer than I probably should have, but hopefully you guys enjoyed. Please like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next episode of whatever I decide to do tomorrow.